KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all.
Yes, indeed.
It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all.
KP's Video News, y'all. And you know what today is? It's Happy Pre-Indictment Day. That's right. It's Happy Pre-Indictment Day. Tomorrow's Indictment Day. And day we all looking forward to. Yes, indeed. So happy Indictment Day. Yes, indeed. So, yep. Finally, they're going to indict Donald the Offensive Trump for one of his crimes. They still got other cases going, other cases pending. So, for all you people out there that talking about they picking on him and this is all political, it's that, you got to remember that this particular case that he's being charged for in New York happened before he was president. Before. So, and it goes back to him trying to cover up that particular story, to kill that story, so he could, try to make it look like he was squeaky clean before he ran for office. So yeah, he deserves exactly what he's getting. So in the days before, before the situation happens, you have former ex president is expected to make an appearance tomorrow on Tuesday in a Manhattan court. Is a volatile moment for the country when the unpredictable outcome, but law enforcement have not seen any indications of a disruptive organized backlash compared to like January 6th, attack on the Capitol. So the New York Police Department, state law enforcement agencies, the Secret Service, U.S. Marshals have all been coordinating efforts while increasing intelligence gathering and mobilization. The police, for instance, sent a stand-ready order to about 35,000 officers, a force larger and better trained than some national armies. Even as the offensive Trump's coming arraignment reflects a different set of circumstances, the response is informed by lessons learned by the Capitol riot and from challenges posed by the nationwide protests against police violence in 2020. They include the need to deploy forces quickly when threats pop up on social media, and the importance of sharing intelligence among agencies in real time. At the moment, they are not seeing those threats. The department has a lot of experience coordinating with the Secret Service and the court system, so the effort is not terribly concerning, said Kenneth Corey, who retired late last year as the chief department, highest ranking uniformed officer in the department. But there are still big unknowns, mainly the protesters, he added. Who shows up? How many show up? What kind of mood are they in? There's no guarantee law enforcement will detect any threat, even if the agencies involved work seamlessly. There could be concealed efforts or lone wolves motivated by incendiary messaging who will lash out, as was the case shortly before the Capitol was breached when a pair of pipe bombs were found outside of nearby headquarters of Republican and Democratic national committees. But the FBI has not identified any specific threats. Two officials with knowledge of the situation said, because of that, the Bureau, which was criticized for not publishing a bulletin before January 6th, has not distributed any intelligence bulletins to law enforcement, one of the officials stated. As of Sunday, neither law enforcement officials nor outside experts have picked up evidence that Trump's defenders or detractors are gearing up for a major event on the day when a man elected to the nation's highest office will be booked in lower Manhattan. The city's police department, which has a sprawling, sophisticated intelligence operation that developed after September 11th, 2001 attacks, has tracked isolated threats on social media, but has yet to detect larger plans that might spur violence or mass disruption. The NYPD continues to monitor all activity, but there are no credible threats to the city at this time, and it's not clear whether Trump plans to make a statement in New York after he's indicted, which could change that dynamic. But if he does, the circumstances leading up to his court appearance on Tuesday are markedly different from those in the run up of the Capitol attack. For starters, there are a few, if any, signs that overt coordination of mass protests that characterized the weeks and months before January 6th have taken place. The Justice Department officials believe part of the reason is that prosecutions of the January 6th suspects has helped deter most of the likely instigate violence. More than 1,000 people who entered the Capitol or breached its grounds on January 6th have already been charged with crimes, and hundreds more remain under investigation. Moreover, some of the chief organizers of the pro-Trump rallies that preceded the attack were swept up in the Justice Department's vast criminal inquiry, and some like Ali Alexander, who have said they have little interest in rallying on Trump's behalf this time. Thus far, Trump himself has not made any specific call to action for Tuesday. Doing so could be problematic for him. One of the possible crimes the Justice Department Special Counsel Jack Smith is investigating is Trump's role in egging on protesters to disrupt congressional certification of President Biden's victory. While Trump encouraged protests last month to take our nation back in announcing that he expected to be arrested, he has yet to issue a demand comparable to December 19th post on Twitter, explicitly summoning supporters to the rally. That right there is the guilty. You don't even need to have a case. Just by this one sentence, comparable to his December 19th, 2020 post on Twitter, explicitly summoning protesters to rally in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, the exact same day that they were counting the ballots for the Electoral College ballots. Now, what president has ever held any type of rally on the exact same day in Washington, D.C. when they were counting the ballots? That's a direct connection to his guilt of summoning those people to tell him to come to D.C. that day. So, but in the weeks leading up to January 6th, supporters staged 2 rallies. They brought thousands of people into the streets and created momentum. Those events, one in November 2020 and the second in December, were planned by a large crew of organizers, including Alexander, who were skilled at mobilizing crowds and promoting Trump's central message to stop the steal of the election, which he actually lost. Those events include large contingents from the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, many of whom organizers had brought in to serve as bodyguards and perform event security. Several members of those groups, including their top leaders, have been convicted and are now standing trial for serious crimes connected to January 6th, among them seditious conspiracy. There was no sign that either group had any plans to rally in support of Trump when he appears in court. Before January 6th, pro-Trump chat boards like the Donald whatever quickly filled up with comments by protesters discussing plans about building gallows, occupying the Capitol, chasing lawmakers through the tunnels of the buildings, and committing other forms of violence. So I'm telling you, man, this guy is totally ridiculous. And so they got a retired new NYPD detective that said the entire force is ready to make sure there's no repeat of January 6th when Trump is arraigned on Tuesday. And Michael Alcazar stated that the whole police department is on standby just in case. We need more police officers to respond to the scene in case it gets out of hand. Sources speaking say there are 35,000 officers ready. And CBS points out that Trump took the Truth Social before his indictment and called on his supporters to protest and take our nation back, language that many compared his statements to the run-in the Capitol riot in January 6th. Alcazar says that the NYPD is ready. They are ready for any protest that may materialize and you are not storming the courthouse. That's not going to happen. I'm sure our executives reviewed January 6th and what went wrong, and they're anticipating any kind of issues like that. So Bragg's office confirmed the indictment in a statement last week, saying it had reached out to his attorneys to arrange a surrender, and the specific charges have not been made to the public, and an indictment is still under seal. It's still under seal. So, you know, and going on with all that, just to add to all the problems that he has, according to a report that adding to Donald Trump's problems, which include a scheduled arraignment in New York, and a report from Forbes claims that he is now not nearly as rich as he was when he helped launch his Truth Social media platform. According to the report, Truth Social has been a flop and is in danger of collapsing, taking the former president's net worth down with it. On Sunday, it was reported that the two entities tied to Truth Social that are attempting to merge are facing a September deadline to get the SEC approval to avoid having to refund approximately $300 million to investors, which could lead to a collapse. And the Truth Social struggles are hitting Trump's worth hard. In December 2021, a group of big money investors promised to inject $1 billion in cash into the venue, but only if they get a deal, a good deal. By that point, shares of the trading was $45, but under the agreement, the new investors would guarantee a profit as long as the shares stayed above $10. When previously estimated the value, Forbes used the $10 per share figure that came up to $730 million, noting that the failure of Truth Social to achieve lofty goals is a fundamental problem that barely anyone uses Truth Social. Nobody uses it before it launched. So it said Trump got about 180 million invested in Truth Social. Yep. So it estimated that his net worth plummeted from an estimated 3.2 billion last fall to 2.5 billion today. So now you know why he's always upset about how much money that Elon Musk has, how much money that Jeff Bezos has, because the money that they got, the money that he has compared to the money that he has is just like peanuts. These guys are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and he only worth $2 million, $2 billion. That's nothing. That's just chump change compared to what they got. So here we go. Last story. A top leader in the San Jose, California police union has been accused by federal officials of using her post at the organization to mask years of international drug dealing. Joanne Segovia, 64 years old, executive director of the San Jose Police Officers Association, is charged with importing the synthetic opioid fentanyl and could face up to 20 years. That's all? 20 years in prison. Officials say that the union official received numerous shipments from Hong Kong, Hungary, India, and Singapore using innocuous descriptions like wedding party favors, gift makeup, or chocolate and sweets on the manifest to hide their true contents. When federal investigators intercepted some of the shipments, they found that they contained thousands of pills or controlled substances, including synthetic opioids, tramadol, and chapentadol. Certain parcels were valued at thousands of dollars worth of drugs. She surrendered on Friday. Neighbors said they were shocked that Ms. Segovia, known for her friendly grandmotherly presence, was alleged to have participated in such conduct. Yep. So Segovia, who has worked in the union since 2003, allegedly used her work email and a UPS account to facilitate her deals. Yep. I'm just angry because it's a huge letdown to all the men and women that took part in the organization, Union President Sean Pritchard stated. It's so hard to comprehend. This person has been really been the grandma of the police association, and it's a person that we have known well over a decade. And when interviewed by investigators in February, Ms. Segovia told the officers she had no idea about drug dealing and mentioned her work to the police. And another interview this month, she allegedly tried to blame her housekeeper for the drug shipments. Come on, man. Yep. Who does that sound like? Sounds similar to the person that's getting indicted over there in New York tomorrow. Anyway, happy Indictment Day. Happy Indictment Day. That's right. We're celebrating Happy Indictment Day Eve here. This is Monday, April 3rd. Tomorrow's 4-4. It's going to be 4-4-23. And it's time to get that chump. Get him. Lock him up. That's right.
KP
Video News, y'all. You know who it is. You know who it is, y'all. KP Video News, y'all.